Chairshot Rally on WrestleZone.com. Every single weekend, we are always growing more and more, but still same old guys. Josh Eisenberg, Justin LaBar, and
the great style of Eisenberg, Mr. Showtime.
We're in a new era,
Josh
but you're still
Eisenberg,
dressing this badly. I don't understand
and Mr. No Show, Justin LaBar. People don't want to see you on TV, but they see me each and every week on their computer screens. A big packed show for you. Though.
We're going all the way in now on our non-pay-per-view weekends. We're going to be all the way into our Monday morning booker in part 4. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about Tensai and some of the things out there. We're going to talk about Kane involved in the WWE Championship. We're going to talk to the man. We got reality checks. Of course, there was also a suspension, but before we do any of that, let's do how we always do, Josh, which is starting with Outside the Ropes. I wrote about it on Bleacher Report. I'll let you sound off here. WWE changing the focus, going from pay-per-view buys, now worried about their television ratings primarily.
I think this is a good thing because you've seen the lack of television ratings for the past few months, especially 3 weeks ago. It all started whenever they announced Triple H's return. They get a 2.9 television rating. Also, what you do is you get to see, last week at 2.7. I understand Memorial Day is a big thing, but you get to see that they're not really investing so much time and effort. And now that you're giving 3 hours of Raw each and every week, that could be a big problem for WWE because you have so much time to fill. So I like this idea, especially you can get marketing, you can get sponsorships involved with Monday Night Raw, more interactive like they did with the Subway, the Subway segment a couple of weeks ago. People are going to invest more time. You always see WWE 13 sponsors 3 pay-per-views, and that's not giving them money. This is a great investment for WWE. I think it's a very smart way to continue to build Monday Night Raw to 3 hours. Survivor Series probably will not be in Pittsburgh as it was previously reported.
Yeah, exclusively reported the first week of April that WWE was going to do Survivor Series in Pittsburgh. Now, as I put up on WrestleZone, it seems like when the NFL schedule came out, WWE went, uh-oh, because that same night they wanted to do Survivor Series on November 18th, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be in Pittsburgh for the NBC Sunday Night Football game at 8:20, so virtually the same time up against the Baltimore Ravens. So then WWE went to the Consol Energy Center at Pittsburgh and said, hey, how about we come on Tuesday and do a SmackDown taping? Well, on that Tuesday, the arena's already booked with the great Justin Bieber in concert. Baby. So at this moment of speaking, WWE is not sure, or at least is not announcing or saying where they're going to do Survivor Series. Potentially, I guess it could still be in Pittsburgh a week early, a week later, but apparently WWE likes to stick to the date and make other people work around that. So, I don't care. I'll be in Hawaii. TNA considering less pay-per-views a year, Josh.
Very good idea, very good decision, especially whenever you're not traveling every month. What is the point of having a pay-per-view every month when you're still continuing to try to build your product to be something bigger than it is right now? A smart idea for TNA. Focus more on the live impact throughout the summer. Hopefully next year, in 2013, instead of having one pay-per-view a month, maybe they cut 3 or 4 pay-per-views, so you only have 8 pay-per-views. You're going to get more buys that way because not a lot of people are buying the regular garbage that they give us anyway. Dr. Tom Pritchard is no longer an FCW trainer.
I can't hear the name Dr. Tom Pritchard and not think about the heavenly bodies, him and the gigolo, Jimmy Del Rey. Great memories. The Score in Canada will not be airing Monday Night Raw live when it switches to 3 hours. No, it's going to be an hour behind. They're not going to start airing until 9 p.m. and it'll go until midnight.
I really don't understand what the point is of having the hour delay, 9 to midnight. That seems really late for me. I don't know if a lot of people in Canada are going to stay up for an extra hour
what about
to midnight.
Spoilers, though?
I know. Well, they're going to. That's exactly. That's another thing. They're going to read the spoilers instead of stay up the extra
people
hour.
Tweeting.
Exactly. It's going to be really bad, especially guys like Ardo Cal, Jimmy Corderas, guys that are good friends of the show. They're going to be an hour behind us on that Twitter world. We know how much they love that tweeting game. Former WWE diva Jillian Hall has been arrested and charged with domestic violence.
Yeah, this apparently happened back in April, and ironically enough, Jillian Hall, I saw her in New York a few weeks ago, and I was at the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, and a buddy I was up there with, he was wanting to make a move, and I kept saying, no, she's got a husband and everything. Well, good thing he did make a move, because she might be crazy, who knows. TNA suing WWE over a former employee who worked for TNA and then went to work for a brief period of time with WWE, apparently leaking financial contractual information.
I don't know how much this is going to go. TNA suing WWE. I think they want to get their name out there in some form or fashion. And why not try to go for the big guy, try to cut the throat of the WWE? But what's really going to happen here? They'll sue him for a few $1 million. Even if they win, what does this do for TNA? It doesn't do anything. This is just them trying to feel a little bit better about themselves and making themselves in the same sentence, the same breath as a worldwide phenomenon, a global enterprise like the World Wrestling Entertainment. Chris Jericho has been tweeting the past couple of weeks that he will not be returning to the WWE after his suspension is up.
Well, and of course, he also tweeted that it wasn't him behind the January videos of this past year. So take what you want for it. Now, we told you we're bringing back some of the interaction. We're bringing back the tweets of the week. Hashtag CSR. You got to have a hashtag CSR for your tweet of the week. Or do you want to go first?
I would love to go first. This one is one of my favorite tweeters, Jesse, who tweets at Josh Eisberg. You're not even in the tweet because he obviously is an Eisenbergler for life. I know you were about to write. I know you were happy. I know you were happy to write that piece about Alba ... I mean Lord Tensai. So I loved breaking that report and putting that online, courtesy of some other sources, that the Tensai character is going to be taking another turn. And
well, I've been saying for the last couple of weeks that they were going to start making
the
aggressive.
Miami Heat. That's what they're doing right now.
I've been saying the last couple of weeks they're going to make it more aggressive. I said that
I don't think that name's going to last for a while.
He'll still be Tensai.
But Jesse, Big Bad Dad, and a bunch of different numbers behind. That's my tweet of the week for him.
I'm going with at Gary Smith 1818, and he says, "I do drugs if I had to feud with the Miz also."
Wow.
And of course of course that talking about Randy Orton, who gets suspended this past week. Now, it's his third WWE suspension, but it's only his second wellness policy violation. He had one suspension, I want to say maybe in 2006, for being unprofessional. So
we've seen that before in person. Randy Orton being unprofessional.
This is only 60. This is only a 60-day suspension for Randy Orton. But nonetheless, obviously, we saw the Miz get RKO'd by Orton, because it was going to be Orton Jericho. It looked like. Then Jericho gets suspended. Now Orton suspended.
Nobody wants to fight the Miz. Apparently, the Miz gets thrown in there. Nobody wants to fight anybody. This is the biggest thing, Justin. To kind of interrupt you, this is huge, and this is not big on terms of they're gonna lose. A lot of merchandise sales, because his merchandise will still be there. They're losing the top guy on SmackDown, who, whether you love him or hate him, he is one reason that people go to those shows. And now what's going to happen is John Cena's going to have to carry the extra bulk. This is a good thing for young guys, because 60 days is a lot of time to make sure you figure out who can fill that spot that Randy Orton fills. Many people are thinking it could be Dolph Ziggler. Many people are thinking, Christian can get more of a rub as the Intercontinental Champion, but feel a little bit more important. What about a younger guy like a Damian Sandow? Maybe Dean Ambrose gets his shot. This is not good for the overall product of the WWE, but it's good for the talent inside, because somebody should be able to seize an opportunity, and I really do think they have a lot of options. My personal preference of somebody that should get an opportunity to really take Orton's spot these next 2 months is a guy like Dolph Ziggler or Cody Rhodes. That's the top two guys that deserve a shot, trying to create something for their own.
Well, WWE was already going through quite the shift in the roster. I felt like it was almost like 1994 and 1995, and they were losing a lot of the stars and the main talent either to retirement or to WCW, and it was the start of the new generation is what they built. You had the Shawn Michaels, you had Diesel, you had Bret Hart, all those names coming into the fold. This almost feels like this is the most drastic shift maybe since then. You look at all the guys in the last couple of years, the JBLs, the Undertakers, the Triple H, the Shawn Michaels, now even looking into the guys like Mark Henry, Kane, Big Show, all who either are done on a very limited schedule or soon to be done, you have to think, within the next 2 years. And this is going to be a chance. This is going to be a good 60-day chance, as Josh was saying, to find out what you got. Who's going to step up? Who's there? But we know that somebody's going to step up, and that's to their benefit, and hopefully they do. But I want to talk about Randy Orton. Randy Orton is a top talent. He's a top talent. He's got great pedigree with the Orton name. He's got a look. He's good. I mean, everything. There's not really a bad thing you can say about him in terms of wrestling. He is the complete package. He's a franchise guy. He's signed until 2019. When you're a franchise guy, you can't have this happen. I don't care if it was a supplement that he took to keep that awesome look, and he made a mistake and something set off.
Some of us have to go extraordinary measures to keep great looks. But
I don't care if it was that by an accident, innocent. I don't care if he decided to inhale and do a little puff pass. I don't care what it was. Bottom line, when you're in that spot, when you're making that kind of money, when you're in one of the few top WWE spots that thousands of people would love to be in and have came and gone in the past and failed, you have to be more careful. I don't care what. There's no excuse. Even if it was a simple mistake, there's no excuse. If this was anybody else, having been suspended this many times by WWE in a 7-8 year career, they wouldn't be around.
Well, let me tell you, the biggest thing is I know he's failed. He failed the wellness policy once. He got suspended for unprofessional behavior. I think a lot of people feel like Orton, Cena, Triple H, those three guys are the untouchables, where they might have a wellness violation, but we might not ever hear about it because of their name. I think this proves that they're serious about it. That they're not, they're not going to fluff it around. Whether John Cena has used performance-enhancing drugs or not, that's not our platform to discuss. But this shows you that they're not going to, just say, Randy Orton, oh, you failed a wellness test. Okay, we're not going to give you the chance to clean up. We're going to suspend you so we make a stern statement that one more time you're out. That's the one question I'm wondering, is if he does have one more time, do you really think they're going to, say 2 years come from now, 2014, Randy Orton gets suspended again. Do you really think they're going to let go of Randy Orton? I don't think so. I don't think so. That's I'm looking in the future.
I don't know if I'm going to question whether or not they're. I think they take the wellness policy very seriously. I don't know.
But how serious?
Then I'll pose
to the standpoint of affecting business.
Then I'll pose this back to you. Let's say hypothetically. Let's just say hypothetically, they do look the other way with certain people or certain. Supposedly everybody gets tested at random, but let's say they look the other way. I don't know if that ever happened. Let's say they look the other way for John Cena or Triple H. So if Randy Orton is getting, what does that say? Does that say that he's not viewed? I don't know how it could be, but does that say that he's not viewed as a top guy to them?
He's viewed as a top guy to them, but he's never been the guy that drove the John Cena merchandise sales. He's never been a guy who has shaped the WWE from a business standpoint like Triple H has done. So
he's the anchor of their SmackDown attendance.
That's what they think of him, is moving him to SmackDown.
Well, it's still he's the face of their show.
He's the face of their show, but it's SmackDown, Justin. It's not Monday Night Raw. It's not pay-per-views. It's not Randy Orton competing in the main event.
He always gets one of the biggest pops. He always gets one of the biggest pops.
Yeah, he gets one of the biggest pops because he's over with the crowd, but it's mostly SmackDown.
Well, no, when you see him at a Raw or pay-per-view, he gets a big pop.
Yeah, but still, people get to the point where they appreciate Orton for what he does, but he's not he's not a crossover star. He's not a John Cena who can go into movies. He's not a CM Punk who goes to, or the Miz who goes on TV shows. Well, he's more of just a WWE guy, and that's okay.
Good thing they didn't put him in the Marine 3. That would have flopped the plans.
Bigger than 10.
Chairshot Reality at yahoo.com. Chairshot Reality on the Facebook. Josh Eisenberg 4. Justin LeVar on Twitter. You can sound off more on your thoughts on Randy Orton. Coming up in the rest of the weekend, we're going to have reality checks. We're going to talk about the Big Show. Is he finally being booked the right way 10 years later? Please, Vince, Tensai, Kane, and of course we still got our Monday morning Booker debate all to come up. Chairshot Rally, WrestleZone.com.